Hello, senior2, we're back again with a new topic. We will start with chapter 3, how to create your web pages. Of course, we will give you a little revision about an HTML and a PHP programming language. Of course, we will get to know it more and more. When you install the XAMPP program, you should have a folder, of course, in partition C named XAMPP, and inside this XAMPP folder you will find an htdocs. Let's find out what I'm talking about. If you go to the partition C, and you will find a XAMPP folder. Inside this one you will find the htdocs, yes, this one. So you should create a folder named dictionary. This is where you will save your project and the web pages of your project. Okay. Then we will open, of course, the expression web. Then we will click on site and press a new site. Then choose an empty site, and you will find here the location. It should be a dictionary, so you have to browse it or you just write it. And when you press OK, the program files and folder will be loaded in this pane. By the way, when you look at this interface of your program, you will find out that it has many parts. If you look closely, you will find that the program has at least 6 parts inside this area. Okay, you have in this section something called the tag properties, but I already closed it. This one is called the folder list. This one is a menu bar. Yes, this one is called the menu bar. This area is called the website. Of course, this is where you see your website. This section is called the toolbox, from where you can drag and drop each of those control as many as you like. Okay, and in this area or this pane you can apply a style, a CSS style, a style for your web pages. But let's go back to our programming language HTML. Let us give you a small revision. Okay, I downloaded a picture for the Egypt map. Okay, I inserted inside the folder. Inside this one, I created 2 files. This file, I wrote down a certain code, and this file, I wrote down a certain code. Okay, and I saved them with extension HTML. Before we start, let's try something. Create a new document, and let's revise about an HTML. What's an HTML stands for? It stands for a hypertext markup language. What is this? This is a programming language used to create a static web page. So you could use it in your website, of course, to create some of your pages. Okay. What is the basic structure to create a page in HTML? Of course, you have to start with a tag that mentioning that you are starting a coding using this programming language. Our starting tag is an HTML. After this, you will have to insert a title, of course, for your website. So you need to open the head tag. Inside the head tag, you will open the title tag. This one is where you add a title for your web page. Yes, and you have to close it. To close it, you write the same tag but with this slash, of course. So you have to close it. After this, you have to close the head tag. Yes. And to insert something inside the body or inside the content of your web page, you must open a tag called body. Yes, inside this one, you will display, in this section, it will display the web page content. So, after you insert the certain information, blah blah blah, what you ever want to insert inside your web page, you have to close, of course, the body tag using the same symbol or the slash. Then, after you're done, you have to close the main tag as an HTML. Okay, this is our basic structure to create any web page using the HTML programming language. But when you save any file, you should save it with extension, with a certain extension. An extension, you will write the name, of course, of the website. Let's say test3 dot an HTML or dot HTML or dot HTML. It doesn't matter. It posts the same for me. Okay. So when you write extension and choose the location, you have to choose the encoding to UTF-8. What is a UTF-8? Let's say, for example, we will make our project in Arabic language. We will use an Arabic language inside our web browser. To use an Arabic language inside your web browser, you should use the UTF-8 encoding. This one display Arabic language in your web browser, and of course I made my project intentionally in Arabic language, so it's be clear for you, of course. So you have to save the file. Okay, let's go back to our example. Don't save this file. We have a test2 and test1. Okay, this is test2. This is test1. In test1, I created an HTML tag. My title is my first page. Okay. Inside the body, I will write down a computer word. I open a paragraph. I align it into the center of the web pages. I inserted an image for an Egypt. Then I placed a heading called Tahya Masr. Okay, I closed the paragraph. I open another paragraph. I align it, of course, into the right of the page. I write down a second page, then I close the paragraph and close the body and close the HTML tag and save this file as an HTML. In test2, I write the same but with a little different. This title is my second page. I write inside the body Khulu Masr inshallah aminin. I wrote a paragraph. I align it in the right of my web page. I inserted a page but with a height and width. Okay, and I wrote down inside my paragraph first page. If you look closely to the pose of those coding, you will find out that I already wrote something a little bit similar. How? This one is the first page, but here I write second page. So I want to move from this page to this page. So I have to create something called a hyperlink. Yes. And from this one, I will move from the second page to the first page. So I have to create also a hyperlink. Of course, to create a hyperlink, you have the ahref tag, and you already know it. But what you don't know, how to create a hyperlink using the expression web without writing a code. So let's find out this one. I will go to my expression web. I will open, of course, a file. So I save this file, I guess, in my desktop. Yes, in a new folder 4. I will open test1. This one. I will open this page first. This is our page. By the way, this is our design. Yes, I know you're asking why this language look like this, because it's written in Arabic. So inside expression web, it will not be displayed. Okay. I will click on the split. The split the the screen, as you see, in two parts: the part where you find the design and the part where you find the code. This one, it only displays the code, this one only display the design. So I will click on the split. I will go to this one, select it, okay, and from the insert I will insert something called a hyperlink, and I will go check which one I want to move. When I click on this one, I want to click on this one, so I will choose test2 to be the hyperlink. So when I press OK, this means when I click on the second, it will transmit me to this page. Okay, the same, I will go to File, Open, but this time I will open test2. Okay, yes, this is where test2. I want to click on this page, on this text, and transmit me to the first page. So from the insert menu, I will insert a hyperlink and choose, of course, test1 and press OK. So you will see there is a line in the page. This means I created a hyperlink inside my page. Don't forget, this is very important. Let's show this result but in real life. So close this. Yes, I will save changes, and I will close this one. I will save also the changes and go to my test one. So I will open it using the Microsoft Edge. I hope I could find it. Okay, Microsoft Edge. Yes, this one is my page. So I will click on this one. It will transmit me to another page. If I want to go back, I will click on this one. It transmits me to the first page. So this is creating a hyperlink using, of course, the expression web. And you could display the page source. You will find out it's created a hyperlink and wrote down the hyperlink tag without even writing it down in the source code that you already created. This is how you create a hyperlink using, of course, the expression web program. So let's go back to continue our lesson. After we created a site, you will go to File, of course, New, and insert a PHP page. The first PHP page that you have is to create your header. We already talked about the header, and the header is the banner. And inside the banner, you will find this section. This section represents a hyperlink for each page in your website. You have, like I told you, the main, the index, add a term, search for a term, delete a term, edit for a term, and help page. This all pages you could create in your project. So let's go back to the header. The header is a banner, of course, a computer dictionary, something that represents what is your project. So if you look at the code, of course, we created an HTML tag. The direction is from right to left. Okay. The metadata, of course, we choose the UTF-8 because we have an Arabic language to display. And we created this section. This section is to insert a banner inside your code. And by the way, the div tag will make the image appear inside all of your web pages site. Okay, the div tag, and I inserted the image height and the source of the image called banner.jpg, and the width is to 1276. Of course, this is the dimension, and inside this one you will find out each a hyperlink represent a page. This one represent the index. This one represent the add term. This one represent a search for a term. This one represent a delete term. This one represent an edit term. And of course, you will create the hyperlink as I show you. Once you select this and insert hyperlink, you will go to choose, of course, the page that you want. So you could go to our source, a XAMPP, htdocs, a dictionary. So this is the main page. So you will choose, of course, what you will choose this. Of course, you could select each of those. So this is the main. The main is called index. If you click this and click OK, it will create the hyperlink for this page. And the same goes for each one of these, like I showed you previously. Okay, this one is a PHP code. This PHP code asking you if you have a username. If the username is empty, you should, of course, you should sign in, or ان انت حضرتك تسجل الدخول on your website. Echo mean print, okay? Or if you are unregistered username, it will do the same. And of course, a welcoming message will be displayed in your page. This is the design. This is your code. This is how you explain or write the code and create a page. Again, we loaded a new site. It's an empty site. We choose our direction, but it's a dictionary, not dictionary 4. We loaded the folder. Then we create a new PHP file and start writing the code for, like I told you, and you will see the design like this. Okay, after this, you created the hyperlink, you created the header, you created this page. You should create a connection.php page. But before we start to know how to create this one, or how to write the code for this one, you should know first some of the following. Let's go back to our booklet and let's know about something called variables and constants. Okay, this is like I told you. To create a header, you already gave you this point about the def tag, and this is the code for creating your header. This is the entire code for creating the header, and this is the line to create, of course, the hyperlink, and it's time to create the connection.php. It's one of your pages. This page is responsible for connecting your web pages with the database you already created earlier in the previous video. But before we start, we should know what is a variable, what is a constant, to know some of the tags that I write, some of the codes or the instructions that I write in my web pages. Okay, a variable, it doesn't matter what is. Of course, you already studied the variable in middle 3 and the constant. A variable is a space storage that inside your memory, of course, but it take an initial value. It could be changed after running the program or after executing the program. This is very important, but the definition, it's, you already know it, but I think you forgot about those things. You have rules to name the variable. Of course, when we declare or announce the variable, we will start, of course, using the $sign. The first step when you declare a variable in PHP is starting with dollar sign. After this, you will assign using the assignment operator, the equal. After this, each PHP command should end with a semicolon sign. And by the way, to print any information, we use two words, either print or either an echo. This is a very important information. So let's, for example, give you this one. You have a variable called name, and the value for this variable is Muhammad. I gave you three printing statement. Echo with a double quotation, my name is, then the dollar sign name. Echo with a single quotation, my name is, then dollar sign name. The echo with a single quotation is, but I ended here with a single quotation dot the dollar sign. What do you think each statement result will be displayed for the user? Yes, it's correct. The result for the first one, my name is Muhammad. The second one, my name is this, the variable name. My name is Muhammad. This is a very important one. So this one and the third one and the first one will give you the same result, but the second one with a single quotation will not give you the same result, of course. So be careful when you put the sign. You may have an error because a small sign, by the way. Of course, you know already the types of those variables. You have boolean in case you have a choice or something like true, false, female or male, a choice, a double, an integer or a non-integer, or a string, of course, variable. A constant is also a storage space, but it takes fixed value. It doesn't change during running the program. It's a fixed or static value. To declare the constant, you should use this rule. You mention define, then mention the constant name, then give the value. Like this one. Define, you have a constant name, and the value is Muhammad, and he gave you a statement. My name is name. So name this. So the result is my name, two dots of course, and Muhammad will be displayed in your. How did he know to place name with Muhammad? Because I already defined it that Muhammad that the variable, the constant name equal Muhammad. So that is the result of the printing on your screen. And of course, to start any PHP code, you must start with those lines. You must start with this sign, PHP, and end with this sign. In the middle, of course, you will write down each PHP code you want to insert or each function you want to use in this, using, of course, this programming language. And this one for the printing, as we earlier speak. And this coding will be written in HTML or PHP, it doesn't matter. It's still the same. And each statement run ends, of course, with a semicolon. And this one is not executable using this sign, the slash, or using the slash asterisk and end with asterisk slash. This depends on the comment. If the comment in one line, again, if the comment in one line, you will use a double slash. This is for one line comment. Okay, if you use the more than one line, of course, you will use slash asterisk, then and with asterisk slash. This is how you comment more than one line. This one will create something called the connection.php. This page is a very important page. Why? Because it's connect your web pages with your database. Of course, the username is a variable. We'll give it a root value. The password is an empty value, double quotation without any value. This will mean an empty. The database name, a DB dictionary, like we already discussed. What is our server? You have to point to my server. We already made a local server using the XAMPP program, so you have to point to the local host and it will connect to MySQL by using the username, the password. If it's connect, so it will give you directly show you, of course, directly give you the database or give you that there is an issue in the database. It doesn't matter. It either connect you to the database or give you an error. It will give you one of those. Else, of course, you couldn't connect to your database. I meant to use this Arabic word in my Arabic dictionary because our project called an Arabic dictionary, by the way, not an English dictionary. That's why we need to use this language, of course. So, thank you for listening in this important topic. Of course, we will continue our topic basically, but let me show you first my expression web, the connection.php language. So the connection.php page and the code I wrote it down for this one. This code you will find it in your booklet page 31, of course, and you could revise it. I already discussed with you more than one occasion, but I'm giving you a little hint again in this video. So thank you for listening. If you have any question, of course, feel free to ask. We will continue our topic in the next lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.